Welcome back to PBC on FS1. The prelims are off to a terrific start here at the Armory in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's take a look at our Corona tail of the tape for our next bout of the evening. As you see, Leon Lawson III and Brandon Adams, as Lawson 6 years younger than Adams, but there you see the significant height advantage for Lawson and the reach as well. Ladies and gentlemen, live on FS1 from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Premier Boxing Champions now feature 6 rounds in the super welterweight division. Your referee in charge when the bell sounds is Celestino Ruiz. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he comes in wearing the red with the black and the silver. He is an 11-fight veteran joining us from Oakland, California. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Brandon Adams. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He comes in wearing the brown with the red and the gold. As a professional, he's undefeated, 7 wins for those coming by way of knockouts. Fighting out of Lansing, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the fast rising, lethal Leon Lawson III. Well, what's impressive about Leon Lawson III is not only does he have a significant height advantage pretty much every time he steps out, but he also targets the body. And younger guys typically don't do that, Anthony, but Leon Lawson III does that. Definitely. I mean, he sees us do it. He sees me and my brother do it, and he copies it, and that's what he's supposed to do. So we'll see right now what he has. You fought Dennis Douglin last November in your hometown of Flint. We were there for that. It was a very monumental night. Big right hand followed by an uppercut. He already staggered Brandon Adams. But when he fought on your undercard, how much pride did that give you as to say, man, oh man, talk about life coming full circle? It's a big step up for him coming out, winning the gold gloves and then being a professional. So it's definitely a big milestone that he crossed, and it's only a bigger one that's coming up. Well, he's looking to elevate his record to 8-0 is Lawson. I think he needs to stamp that jab a little more, then throw the right hand. I think he'll catch this guy. Lawson using his jab. Nice left hook there. Brandon Adams from the Bay Area. I think Adams needs to get in and try to smother him and fight in the inside, because this guy's 6'5". Well, yeah, so you have to be able to find a way. It's almost to the point where if you're on the outside, you're going to get picked apart. So you have to sort of get very close to the fire so that a lot of the punches can go over his head if he cuts off the distance. Definitely do. And he's not able to get leverage, and that's one thing that Leon Lawson III does a very good job of, getting distance and using his leverage to get the full range behind his punches on his opponent. Yeah, he used the height very well, just like the right hand right there. He hit him with 2 right hands, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to pick his shots, and he's doing that. Well, Brandon Adams is just a tough customer. He said that he likes to fight and get paid, so that is what he told us in the fighter meetings, just 14 amateur fights. When we asked him what he did in preparation for Lawson, he said that, he sparred with some tall guys living in Stockton. He's only been in the game for about 4 years, but his trainer, Yaqui Lopez, he believes that the toughness is going to find a way to break Lawson. Definitely, and that's what it's about. You got to come in here with a strategy with every fight, and there's Lawson with them right hands again. If Adams don't keep his hands up, he's gonna go down and it's gonna hurt. And coming up in less than an hour, our main card starts here on FS1. Left hook to the body, followed by a right hand upstairs by Lawson. Jamal Charlo will join us on our main card. And look at Lawson staggering Brandon Adams, using that right hand to his advantage. A little bit of a stumble. Celestino Ruiz ruling it that. And the end of round number 1. We'll come back with more of PBC on FS1. Welcome back to PBC on FS1, as it is Leon Lawson III there, trained by his father. There you see Lawson, who looked very impressive in round 1. This is round 2. This one's scheduled for 6. as Lawson with his jab, trying to feel out and get a range on Brandon Adams.
I think he needs to pop his jab instead of pawn with it. He needs to really throw it, and so the jab is a very important punch in this boxing game, and everybody knows. I think he needs to use it and then really set this guy up for that right hand.
Adams is throwing wildly, and he's trying to use his head movement and get off the line, but Lawson has done a very good job of timing and finding proper placement behind his punches.
And he did. There's another right hand. He's using a jab. He's distracting him with the jab and popping that right hand. I think that's what he needs to do, but he needs to come with something after that right hand, because the guy is not expecting it now.
Maybe a left hook to the body as well, because that's a punch that your cousin likes very well, likes a lot.
Definitely he do.
But he steps in with the jab, and that jab that we are witnessing out of Lawson, it's not a jab that is just keeping him off balance. It's like a stabbing jab right to the face, snapping the head back, making it very difficult for you to be able to react.
Definitely, it's a different kind of jab. I mean, he's tall. He can do that. Instead of just popping it, he can pop it and leave it out there and kind of push you. So, and he's doing that. I think he's working it. He really needs to throw it a little bit more. I can't get enough of that jab, and he needs to throw it more, and it's going to set up that big punch that he wants, that he's looking for.
Just over the midway point of the second round, but also, Anthony, I think that we would have to mention is his age. He's just 19 years of age. I mean, using the jab and using more fundamentals comes with just getting older, because you're a young guy, the bravado, you start to hurt your opponent with right hands like that, and you start to get enamored with your power.
Yep, definitely. He's got 8 fights, so he's learning with every fight that he fights, and he's getting better.
Brandon Adams has just been in front of Lawson. It hasn't done anything significant, and he's just troubled by that height, and also how well Lawson uses the height and keeps everything at the end of his punches.
Definitely. I want to see more body shots out of both guys. I haven't really seen that yet, and I would like to see more body shots out of both guys.
Well, on the Adams side, to cut off mobility is to attack the body, try to take away the legs, the mobility, using every bit of that ring, and Adams should be going to the body. The head will move, the body does not.
Definitely. I mean, Tyson was a prime example. Everybody was taller than Tyson, and he got in the inside every time, and that's what Adams needs to do. He needs to do a version of Mike Tyson and get in there.
But right now, it has been all Leon Lawson. Nice uppercut that connected for the 19-year-old as we near the end of the second round.
Let go.
We'll come back with more.
Well, welcome back to Minnesota. So I was over in the corner of Lawson, and you guys, like you guys mentioned, he's a young guy. He's only 19 years old, and he has a lot to learn, but they're telling him to stay behind the jab, set everything up with the jab, and they'd really like to see him go downstairs to the body. So we'll see if he implements that in round 3, right?
Thank you very much, Jordan. Also, nice job on the shirt there. Having some style as one, Jordan Hardy. So Jordan Hardy's giving us instructions as to what they're telling Leon Lawson III. Do you agree with those instructions, with what they're saying in terms of staying behind the jab?
I definitely do, and I've been saying that all day. He definitely needs to snap it instead of pawing with it to get the guy off balance. You can do that, and you definitely can land that big punch. Right there, like the jab, like the right hand right there that he landed, but it came right after that jab.
Brandon Adams is hoping to land that big shot himself, but Lawson keeping his distance. How much of a statement would this make? A guy who's got 11 fights in Brandon Adams, who's very tough, who likes to bang big right hand, if Lawson can stop him.
It'll say something big, because he's been around the block already, and Lawson is an up-and-coming fighter. So if he can stop this guy, it'll say something big.
Lawson using his jab as 1 minute has elapsed here in the third. Big right hand that connected.
I think Adams is definitely slowing down. He's getting a little bit winded. You can tell he's not moving as much as he did with 2 previous rounds, so we'll see what happens.
Well, his punches, too, they're live. We're starting to see more arm punches out of Brandon Adams. We're seeing the leverage of Lawson and a big right hand right to the body, something you've been calling for a couple of rounds.
I have, and that's going to wear Adams down, and it's doing it. He's been going to the body a lot this round, and that's what he's supposed to do to get this guy out of there.
Don't forget, coming up at the top of the hour, we go live with PBC on FS1. Our main card, 5 bouts are scheduled.
Another good body shot that Lawson threw and connected.
Celestino Ruiz, the referee in charge, separating the two combatants. Lawson, just 19 years of age. We saw him in Flint when you were on fighting Dennis Douglan, PBC on FS1 as well. Lawson using his jab again. But Adams seems to be discouraged, Anthony. His body language has changed dramatically.
Definitely. With a tall guy like that, you can't get in and fight your fight. It's going to be discouraging, but you have to keep your game plan. You have to go in there and keep it and hopefully wear this guy down that's taller than you, got a longer reach than you. You got to find a way to get in the inside.
A jab smacking the head back of Brandon Adams. And Leon Lawson hopes to be the future when it comes to boxing in Michigan once you guys are done and want to hang it up, as we are midway through the fight here in this 6th round super welterweight clash. We are back here in Minneapolis, as there we see Brandon Adams being talked to by his trainer, Joaquin Lopez. What do you think he's telling him?
Get in the inside. You have to get in the inside on this tall guy and break him down, break that big tree down.
Brandon Adams has yet to break the big tree of one Leon Lawson III. Stepping inside with the jab is Brandon Adams, but still to no avail. Now he seems more active, at least when it comes to his mobility, does Brandon Adams.
He does. It seems like he got his second win, and that's when you need to go and fight, because you're behind on this fight, and you really need to go in there and get it done.
Big right hand, and Lawson ties up. I think it might have been a clash of heads as Adams came forward. We saw a grimace on the face of Lawson.
I think he needs to keep his distance, Lawson. Keep his distance, keep using that jab. He has to really pump that jab on this guy because he knows he wants to get in. So pump the jab and then shoot the right hand, left hook, and hopefully, catch him with something big.
Big right hand that found its mark for Lawson, followed by a check left hook.
And you got to mix it up. You got to mix your punches up, especially for Lawson, because now the guy is looking for the right hand. So mix it up, throw a left hook here and there, and hopefully hit him with something to open him up for the big one.
100 seconds left here in the 4th. And Lawson steps with that jab again, that right hand on the temple of Adams. Hey, don't forget, join us on social media. Use the hashtag PBC on FS1. Use the hashtag on social media, PBC on FS1. Follow us at Premier Boxing and be interactive with us all night long. Coming up, our main event on our prelim portion, Sebastian Fundora taking on Antonio Jurista. Fundora stands 6'6", so your cousin 6'5", and now we endeavor into 6'6" territory in Fundora in our next bout.
Definitely, we got a tall card here. Just them two alone are big phenoms.
I feel like they should be playing nearby at the Target Center under Tom Thibodeau and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Definitely.
But they are inside the ring here tonight for PBC on FS1. And Brandon Adams still not able to do anything. Oh, and he got
hurt him.
He got bust. That's a big shot. It almost short-circuited him. And now Lawson with a body shot, a nice left hook, pounding away on the right side of the ribcage of Brandon Adams.
Yeah, I think he got too close to him. I think he smothered his punches. He did the right thing with going to the body when the guy's hurt because he's looking for a head punch. So he did the right thing, but I think he got too close with that with them body shots. I think he should have stayed to the outside where he hurt the guy at.
Under 10 seconds remaining here in the 4th round. Lawson having another big round, having staggered Brandon Adams. That's the end of the 4th. As we'll come back with more of PBC on FS1. Welcome back to PBC on FS1. There you see Leon Lawson the third being talked to by his father, and so far through 4 rounds, Anthony, it has been the Lawson show.
Definitely. I mean, he stayed on the outside. He's doing what he needs to do to win this fight. Adams haven't did anything significant yet. I think he needs to come forward and get in the inside and still try to chop this guy down.
When Brandon Adams, he needs a very big couple rounds, because I have him down 4-0 on my unofficial scorecard.
I also do too.
But again, and I will preface this, and this will be a thing, big right hand that connects by Lawson.
Here's Lawson. He's coming out. I think he smelled that the guy's tired. He doesn't want to be in there no more, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to finish the fight.
Well, it would make a statement. It's one thing to win, but it's also another thing to win by stoppage.
Definitely, definitely.
And, you know, we are getting closer to college football season, which you're going to see a lot of college football here on Fox and FS1, but it's about winning with style, and that's what you have to do in order to get to that next level. You have won with style. The man that will be joining us coming up at 7 o'clock, he will go ahead and he wins with style. In Jamal Charlo and Jamel, they win with style. It's a thing about finishing off your opponents. That's what people like. They love finishes.
They love knockouts, definitely.
And that's what Leon Lawson III is trying to do. As we approach 100 seconds. But also, it takes 2 to tango, and Adams right now is not doing anything to try to engage, and your cousin having and fighting on the outside. Why should the onus be on him to go find him and to play into his game plan?
You got to win a fight. I think Leon's trying to do an impressive win, so he's going to the guy, but Adams just doesn't want to fight. He's trying to retreat and look for that mistake or a big shot, and Lawson's not giving it to him. And I think Lawson is keeping his composure and doing what he has to do right there with another body shot that really hurt the guy.
Also, I'd like to see Lawson throw an uppercut. As Adams kind of comes forward and barrels in, his head's down, so he could step back half a step and then unleash that uppercut right there.
And he just did it as you called it.
Just those little subtleties, especially because of the leverage that Lawson has, because he gets a lot of torque behind his punches, that it's almost like a compound effect. When you come forward and you're having all your leverage on your chin, on your front foot, then you have an uppercut coming your way. It's like double the impact.
Definitely, but you don't want to throw it too far back because you can get caught. Uppercut is a dangerous punch to throw. If you throw it too far back, you get caught, and it can be trouble.
And that's why your cousin hasn't thrown it that much, but when he does, it has been finding its mark as we near the end of the 5th round here at Minneapolis.
Another uppercut for Lawson.
Welcome back to PBC on FS1. There you see Leon Lawson III. He is being spoken to by his uncle or his father, Leon Lawson Sr.
With his grandfather in the corner.
Hey, don't miss the Big 3 Championship tonight on Fox. Chris Anderson and Power will meet Drew Gooden and Three's Company on the half court in Brooklyn to battle for the Julius Erving Championship Trophy. Catch all the action starting at 8 on Fox or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Round 6, this is the 6th and final round between Leon Lawson III and Brandon Adams. As we go ahead and see that a big right hand that connected by Lawson.
Come on.
Jab right in the face of Brandon Adams again. Big right hand connecting. Place filling up here at the Armory in Minneapolis.
I think his dad really wants him to go in there and go after this guy and get him out of there.
Well, it certainly says something, especially a guy who, Brandon Adams, who at this point appears to, his eyes are swelling up a little bit, his face has been beaten up, but it's almost like he's reserved to lose a unanimous decision and then fight another day.
Definitely didn't get stopped or nothing like that, but we still have some time. We have 2 minutes left, so we'll see what happens.
But anything can happen in combat sports, especially inside that squared circle. But
One punch can change anything.
Adams is being a little more lively here in this 6th and final round, but still, nothing is doing any damage to Lawson.
This is what Adam should have did from the get-go. Get in there and pressure the guy. Even if you're not hitting him, you're pressuring, make the guy throw.
But also, Brandon Adams, he's a bigger guy physically. So use your forearms. Go ahead and kind of put that, use your forearms. And I'm not saying illegal tactics, but there's nothing wrong with roughhousing.
Not at all. And Leon is doing that right now. He got the bigger guy in the corner, and he's roughhousing him, and that's what he needs to do to be impressive.
How much does that play on the psyche of a fighter when you are an aggressive fighter and then you are the one who's being pressured?
It can play a toll, but like I say, you have to keep your focus. You have to stay to your game plan and not let anything get you out of that focus and win the fight.
Leon Lawson III hasn't lost a round, in my opinion. Just 19 years of age. Look forward to seeing what the future has to hold for the Flint, Michigan standout.
Nice jab. Another nice jab.
And the corner of Brandon Adams seems to be very discouraged. They're saying he's begging you to hit him. Come on, let your hands go.
Adams was trying too hard, trying to hit him with that one punch when you need to set stuff up and hit him. But Leon did what he needs to do in this fight. He got the job done, in my opinion.
He's closing out in the decision, and that ends the fight. Leon Lawson III likely en route to his 8th professional victory over Brandon Adams. We'll come back and get the official decision. You're watching the prelims of PBC on FS1. Having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. All 3 judges see the contest the same, 60-54 for your winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated, lethal Leon Lawson III. So Leon Lawson III is now 8-0. An impressive performance tonight as he gets right past Brandon Adams.